ask questions away. We've got about 30 seconds to the open. 10. Misjudged it just a fraction. And welcome everybody for Friday the 21st of December. And we're off and running. And please, please, please make sure you let the markets open and go for at least a couple of minutes on these before you do anything and get in there. NetEase is gapping up to about 250 and it's pulling back already. ADI is gapping up, but okay. That could be a counter trend trade towards the mid to high 80s. Nike gapped up to about 74. Looks like it's trying to pull back. We'll keep an eye on that. CTAS and KMX and Camp. Okay. Okay. Try to let it go for at least a couple of minutes, if not more. The first 5 minutes is amateur minutes. They could open up and reverse themselves quite quickly. CTAS over maybe 165. CarMax is pulling back. Nike looks like it wants to pull back as well. None of them seem to really be running on these earning stocks. NetEase gapping up really to a resistance area. We may take a few minutes before we do anything on that one. Foot Locker, no. ADI. Let's look at Nike here. CarMax over 58.50. Nike over the high of the day, 74. That doesn't. What that means is I'm going to wait for it to get over it. If it doesn't get over it, I am not going to go long. You see how CarMax is pulling back. NetEase. Probably over the high of the day on NetEase. And we're talking about 4 to 4.5 minutes into the day here. So Nike and NetEase are the two top candidates I've got at the moment. Schneike's pulling back. Let's go over to NetEase then. Long some NetEase from 252.23. Only 100 shares. Looking at Nike over 73.75. Nike looks like it's trying to work here. NetEase looks like it's also trying to work. I have a sell order on NetEase just below the high of the day. Our Foot Locker is working. And ADI is not quite working. Nike just forming a doji up here at the moment. Fastenal gapped up and then is pulling back a little bit, and now it's trying to run a little. Not sure I really like PANW. I liked on the daily, so probably over 182 or so. January options. Nike's just trying to hold on to the gap up from one. The spiders are trying to come up off of the sell-off at the open or just before the open. And Nike's approaching the high of the day. Breakout over 74 would be welcome. Robbie, hello. I replied to you. Sorry I didn't see your message on Wednesday. My fault. GLNG. Long. Well, Doji gap up. Probably would run to maybe about $24. So yeah, that would, if you could get a good entry. Where would your, in a 5-minute chart, where would your stop be at the moment? Pretty far back. Nike is trying to attack the high of the day. CarMax, same for CarMax. CTAS is not going anywhere. Foot Locker probably going to pull back. CarMax daily looks okay. We're going to have some resistance around 60 probably on CarMax. Getting close to that. And ADI, Fastenal. Let's look at in the 5-minute highs here. Two-day highs. Okay, I just hit target 1 on NetEase. Very, very, very spready. All right. I am going to transition from a stock trade to an options trade on NetEase. I am long some January calls in NetEase. That will probably turn into a swing trade. Looking for a move to 255 today. Nike's pulling back. NetEase is pulling back. CarMax, basically the market's pulling back. Everything's pulling back here. I think my LTA is frozen. I'll restart it. Yep, totally agree, Stalker. All right, now we'll see the 2-day highs here in the first column. The second group will be 2-day lows, then 5-minute highs and 5-minute lows. Hello, Anis from Dubai. Welcome. AGN? Nope, Allergan and VX. Hammer coming off the bottom. 29 resistance though. Well, Anise, right now we normally trade stocks and options. And occasionally I'll trade some futures, although I don't call it much that at all. I do not trade any Forex at all. So stocks, options, and a little bit of futures maybe. All right, the markets are going a little bit down. So look at SPXU. No, I think we've got annuals. If you want to give us $5,000, we'll probably give you a lifetime membership. I don't know. We haven't had anybody request those. I'm long a little SPXU at 50. Stop 49.5. Well, under probably 49.60-ish. Looking for a move to about 50-50 to 50-75. First target would be 50-50. NetEase is pulling back. WLL. Whoa. Nope. Too far gone for me to enter short. And we're hitting here the low of the day, and the spider's doing its bounce. You can see that on a 15-minute chart. If we break 246, it goes to the low of Thursday. But right now, the 246 is holding. Let's see if that lasts any longer than a couple of minutes. Okay, 9:56. We're coming up on 10 o'clock reports. We have a couple of economic reports, primarily I think it's consumer sentiment. But we'll see. Consumer sentiment could be changing. Market's in a little bit of a rally mood on a 5-minute, at least in the spiders. Take a little heat on the SPXU trade and on the NetEase trade. Okay. Market's still trying to rally, but we are in a 5 minute downtrend here. This is only a reversion of the mean so far. It could get up as high as 247 and still be in a downtrend. I am taking some heat there on that trade. And I'm about ready to get flattened out. I am out. Yeah, I've managed to mess up a couple of them already. Although I made some money on NetEase, stock trade, not a ton, and I'm down on the NetEase options trade. On the 15 minute, the spider is still in a downtrend. A little bit of chop here. Not sure that anything here is going to be great at the moment. And you can see the chop in the U Pro and in the spiders. Long some SBS XS at 33. Basing this primarily off of what I see on the 5 minute spiders candle. Let's see if this could continue lower and make a new low. Let's see if we could go down and retest the low from the FOMC yesterday, maybe. And the spider's rejecting lower priced. Ravi, is that a question? And I'll assume a day trade. Over 75 would be a breakout. On the daily, though, you'll maybe run to 76 to see what happens. The only problem I've got, again, 268,000 average daily volume. So the answer is I wouldn't do it. I'm going to make a bet that that the ENS is spready. Let me look at it. You need to be able to filter those out so you don't waste your time. Yep, it looks like it's about 30 to 40 cent spread. Not a good one in my book. You need to be able to filter out at least 500,000, if not closer to 1 million shares a day average. What kind of software do you use? Charting or scanning software? Do you use TC2000? Right. So you should probably set up a universe. Later this morning, remind me. I'll show you how I set up a universe of just tradable stocks. I'll even post it in the room so you don't waste your time looking at stuff that you can't trade. I'm in the middle of chop here. Spiders are still in a downtrend, grinding lower. See what the Qs are doing. I'm long some QID from 5036. Looking for a move to 51. Yes, I do, VJ. I think I posted earlier. I'm not sure if you were here. We start at 9:15 in the morning every day, and I do a market preview. Here's my YouTube channel I'm going to post. And there's the e-learning where I talked about how I do day trades, including my favorite patterns. And there's the chart, my favorite patterns, and a little post-trade analysis. The members e-learning was a little over an hour long. The QID is pushing back at 50-50. Expect just some round number selling. $151.50 looks the buyers are trying to step up there. There goes my profit. You're welcome, VJ. In the rally mode here, Spider's bouncing off this 246 again. It's held it 4 times. I'm out the QID. I'll put the totals out there in a minute. It was a little bit below 50. Oops. I meant to put a buy stop in there and it immediately filled me. Okay. I can't figure out TD stocks and some options, but mostly stocks. In fact, a lot of them are just the ETFs for a day trade. Okay, come on. Tag that 100. Come on. 46, 46. Okay. Out half SP. Sorry, UPRO at 34.47, I think. I'll manage this last one manually. Not really all that thrilled about the Qs. Pro going back up towards the high of the day. Looks like the spiders in the top of the trading range there. And get a little pop. Q's getting a little pop. And maybe up to 249 or so on spiders, and then we'll call it quits. Out UPRO at 34.71. Okay. Sorry, but I'm having trouble keeping up here. 4.24. Sold half at 34.46. All out at 34. Okay. So I guess the question is, do I trade anything other than stocks? The answer is yes, but the emphasis on stocks. Right now we're coming up to the 249 level, and it's 10:17. We probably got a consumer confidence boost at 10 o'clock. We did get that push. And we got up over 249 so far. Will we get 250? I do not know. This yellow dash line here is 250. I trade anything that'll make me money except Forex TD. I was asked to concentrate on stocks though rather than futures. Okay, UPRO looks like a bit of a sell here. Getting close to it anyway. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Hey, sweetie pie. Okay, I'm back. Well, I just don't have any experience in it, and I'm already stretching myself a bit thin, going over all that. I probably would be interested in Forex if I had a day job still and couldn't sit in front of the computer most of the day, because they do tend to trend quite well. One thing that bothers me though about that, and it's maybe a psychological thing, is that the even though there's little or no commissions, the spread is there, and you really have to give up a lot. You have to give up an awful lot there when you give the market a head start. It's like banks in the exchange rates. Maybe it's just a gut feel. I don't know. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Hope everybody's having a great holiday season and trading. Um, Post out our day trading room. Had a pretty rough week here, but all in all, we're doing fairly well. We'll post. That's a link to the results. I post them daily. For the month, we're up $2,218. Most of that was last week, actually. Averaged about $350 a day for 4 days. Had one travel day on 2 Fridays and Tuesdays, so that's where the dashes are. No trades. All right. Spider 5 minute looks like right now it wants to form a doji. And that link will also show you. Casey, that's a good question. I believe that it's in the How Do I Trade section. Um, I basically I base it off a risk, how much I want to risk for a trade, and even though I can trade higher sizes, I tend to trade lower sizes because I want to show people you don't have to risk a lot to make a fairly decent amount. Risking a couple $100 on each trade, you you can see what I've done to date since the 1st of May, and I think that bodes well. If you want to trade more, you can risk more than maybe $300 to $500 on a trade. You can pretty much double it. Let me point out my share sizing chart, and then we'll go over it a little bit. No, because commissions change. My commissions are just a couple of dollars in and out. I use the raw. Well, I use the raw figures based on a gross amount. So you're probably going to end up having to take off a percent or two. People's commissions are going to be a little bit different. And yes, it would probably be better to do it net of commissions. Um, but I just haven't done that. And if you go into each cell in the spreadsheet, you'll see multiple entries for the trades. So you'll see a minus and a plus and a minus and a plus, and then the overall is a net. So you tell you how many trades I had during the day. basically. An aggressive trader could probably trade an SPX or SPXS, or maybe no, probably not the QID because we were in the trading range. My commissions are a half a cent a share, minimum of $1, maximum of 7.50. So basically, if I'm trading 2 to 400 shares, I'm talking anywhere between $2 and $4 round trip. Thanks. I think it is. Now, this week's been pretty rough. There are weeks that I eat the bear, and there are weeks the bear eats me. This week is a pretty rough one, and we're basically flat. I gave it back today, what little we had. I find that Fridays are tough on the best of times, and Friday afternoon is just stupid to be trading, to try to day trade. I do not trade in the Friday afternoons. It does not pay. That came from my journal. I use two brokers. I use Interactive Brokers and Thinkorswim. What you're looking at here mostly are Thinkorswim charts. The problem with Interactive Brokers is their support is okay. It's not great. They're not going to handhold you. They're not going to do any trading. Their tools are minimalist at best. You need to bring your own, which is why I have the TOS accounts, and I trade a few in there, as you saw today. If I trade 2 to 400 shares, I can trade the TOS account, no problem. The commissions aren't going to kill me. If I start doing 1,000 shares or something like that, that's where the Thinkorswim will really hurt. It adds up over time. Okay, coming up on 10:30. We open up almost an hour. And I use Ninja Trader off on the side here to monitor the markets. And I've got, this looks kind of busy here, and it is, but primarily I've got it automatically draws the swing levels, which I use as targets, support, and resistance, and stop levels. And basically, we're bouncing along now from about 246 to 249 and a half. We did have that pop when we had the 10 o'clock consumer confidence numbers, but other than that, we just kind of been grinding. You can use Ninja Trader and use a Thinkorswim feed or buy their data feed. You don't have to trade for it, and you can do all the charting that I'm doing here for free. You just can't execute directly off the charts. Of course, I've got them. Hey, Stalker, well done. Yes, which I'm underwater. I don't worry about where I am and toed up my wins or losses till the end of the day, till I'm trading, done trading. As as Kenny Rogers said, there's time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Spider could be doing an intraday J hook here. As long as it maintains over this 247.88 level, that would be the targeted pullback. That's the breakout level. And we're seeing the spinning dial over here. We are heading lower. Most definitely. We still are in chop though. I had marked this 250 a couple of days ago, and we seem to be going around it. And you see the cues, really big trading range, 150, 150 to 153 and a half to 4, called 53.75, basically. We'll load the 15-minute chart. That's what I should be looking at when we're after about 10:30. Look at the spider is attempting to do a J hook here. Let's watch it. See if it can complete that. CME. Let me look at that one. Not. Well, unless we do an immediate reversal, this candle, the J hook's probably not working. Probably too much to ask. MDU coming up off the bottom. Nope. And the way I read this, the live trading alerts here for the 2-day high, if I see anything over 10 days or so, that's probably pretty significant. Especially what we got here. We got VC coming up off the bottom. Right, and now these are the lows. CSIQ 24. Usually falling out of bed. It fell out of bed at 16. Pebblebrook, which is a REIT. Oh boy, that's nasty, nasty, nasty. And you can see how the Qs are just kind of flailing away there. And we couldn't get up over 259. Mark, I'm basically saying that I'm trying to trade the trend, and over an hour you get enough 15-minute candles you could kind of see what the trend is. You could use a 15-minute chart if you go 2 days and don't, it all depends. I just find that it tends to work better, primarily because you're going to get in the first hour, you're going to get a lot more movement, and then it starts to settle down. Let's look what the stocker is saying about Mo. Right, it did a bounce here and rolling over. You can see that also in the 5-minute chart, 2-day 5. Well, I guess it's, yeah. It's what I do. It tends to work for me. I have a reason for it. It may not be totally valid, but it is for me. If you want to adopt it, fine. I won't charge you any royalties. If you choose not to use that, I won't hold it against you. Way to go, Stalker. She may not have her mic on. C-Task fell out of bed. See what happened to ADI. Pretty much the same. Fastenal. Fastenal got a little bit of a push, but Foot Locker did a little 5-minute intraday J hook. You can't quite see it there in the 15. They did a hammer. Not a huge mover there. Or Citrix. AIMT, for those who are swingers, this one might be one because it has high short interest. Watch for a possible 45-degree run after the earnings gap up. You probably got profit taking going, but maybe a run into the high 28s or high 20s. I mean, 27, 29, somewhere in that ballpark. Watch for a move over, say 25 and a half. SCG, I pointed out, and I never even looked at it. Bad on me. I didn't put it in my list. Silly boy. Okay, and then Kron gave it back today. It's failed. Okay, I'm gonna moderate here for about another 15 minutes, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of switch into the trading mode, because you shouldn't probably be initiating any new trades on a holiday Friday. You know, next week, Monday, even though we're trading Christmas Eve, people could just take one day off and have 4-day weekend. So I would suspect that a lot of people are going to try to square their books by the end of the day, and Monday is going to be a kind of a non-event. Hopefully we get the Santa Claus rally, but traders aren't going to be really back in business till late next week. Then we've got the new year. All right, so I'm going to go over some things, kind of the favorite patterns kind of thing, and how we day trade here, and allow some little Q&A. I put a link out to a presentation I gave some time ago. I'm going to believe that I've given it maybe a half a dozen times in the last few years. But the latest probably about 3 months ago or so. Um, Feel free to peruse the charts. I might pick up a couple of them, but primarily the agenda is trading rules, favorite patterns, how I find and evaluate stocks, setting entries, targets, and stops, trade management, journaling, and the live charts you won't get because we don't have the video. Okay. Um, well, I listed the patterns, but I didn't show any examples. Silly boy. Stubborn Mo. Excuse me. Accuser stuck in the middle. Spider stuck in the middle. I think we're gonna be stuck here right now, Stalker. Well, Bill, that's probably fairly accurate. Um, they probably do tend to be somewhat in parallel, but when you get look at here's SCG on a 15 minute, that didn't match. Let's go down to a 5 minute. they didn't quite match here. They're similar. Um, the reason I like volatility stop, now I don't use it as an absolute, but I use it as guidelines, and I look where there might be candlestick patterns, and I'll call it shelves, shelves, levels where we had a lot of trading going on at that level, and use those as stops. Either one of them are seem to be valid to me as starting points, but it's only a notional area. I would caution about using either one of them as absolutes. Yep. We can go over the swing levels a little bit. Um, let's pick out a stock. And And we're heading to the downside again. Spiders did not hold. We were probably head down to 246 half to 246. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll show you the swing levels bill that I use, explain on sorry, using my NinjaTrader charts to automatically draw the levels for me. Spiders coming up on a support level around 247, and 247.80 something is where the top of the 5 minute opening range is, and sometimes that acts as an artificial support level. Okay, coming up on 11 o'clock, and then we're going to transition into kind of a free members e-learning session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here and pick it up